So we're going through and looking at expanding binomial factors, looking at the algebra, how it works. This video is suitable for you if you're in a 3C class or a 2D class. At this point, we are working from our prerequisite skills were learned in grade 9, and then in a grade 10 class, you will have learned this expansion of binomial factors in itself. The prerequisite skills. I need you to make sure you are comfortable with your 6.2a algebra review that we just did in our previous video. If not, it's a bit of a waste of your time here. I want you to go back, make sure you are caught up nice and ready. The review, question 1a, 1b, frankly, I just want you to pause the video, see how you do, because this is straight from the previous video. I'm not going to go over this. This is not the new piece, all right? Good, so main focuses, main areas where you may have made a mistake. This here is a plus sign because this comes from multiplying two negative terms together. And when we're working over here, don't forget that we're left with an x squared, not just an x, because it comes from 5x times 2x. That's two x's coming together, multiplied together. That looks like an x squared. And don't forget this x term on your second, this x variable on your second term here. Lovely. So multiplying two sets of brackets. When we're multiplying two sets of brackets, you might learn this in a few different ways. You may have learned a method called FOIL, first, outside, inside, last. You may have learned to use your rainbows. I will be sketching my rainbows as we go through right here. And you may have learned it through an area model. All of them are different ways of making sure you keep track of what you're multiplying. Now, if we're multiplying really a binomial, so let's head back up here to this new word. A binomial, that is bi meaning two, and nomial, we're working with a two-term polynomial, really is what we're working with, okay? So a binomial is a type of polynomial. What we're working with down here, that is we have two terms multiplying by two terms. Every time you have something multiplying by something else, we call those somethings factors. So here we have two factors, x plus 8 is one of them, and x plus 3 is the other. It's up to you to make sure you're comfortable recognizing, hey, each of these has two terms, and I know that because there are two things that separate my terms, one in each set of brackets, meaning I have two pieces here that I'll be multiplying together. And the way it works, if you're multiplying this first factor by the second factor, what you really need to make sure you're doing is you need to make sure you're multiplying every single thing in this first factor times every single thing in this second factor. So that is, this x is going to be multiplied by the x in my second factor, and it's going to be multiplied by the 3 in my second factor. This 8 will also be multiplied by the x in my second factor and the 3 in my second factor. These are the rainbows we're looking for. So the first thing I do is I multiply x times x. What's that? Oh, it's just x squared. And then I'm multiplying x times 3. Well, that's just 3x. Nothing new here. And then I'm working with 8 times x. Okay, well, that's just 8x. Don't forget your plus signs. And then 8 times 3, that's 24. And then relying on the skills that we have already learned, we can collect our like terms. We can recognize these two terms in the middle are like terms. They have the same variable, the same exponents. So I'm working with x squared plus 11x plus 24. That's how you expand a binomial. I encourage you, for part B, try it out on your own. Pause the video here, unpause it, see how you did, and we'll go through. So we're working with 2x times 3x, 2x times 5. 1 times 3x, 1 times 5. Lovely, that's two pieces times two pieces. So 2x times 3x, that's 6x squared. 2x times 5, that's 10x. Don't forget that plus sign. 1 times 3x, that's 3x. 1 times 5, that's 5. Again, we have two terms in the middle that are like terms. So I'm working with 6x squared plus 13x plus 5. Lovely, nothing new. I want you to try out question C on your own. There's a negative sign there. Make sure you're paying attention to it, and then see how you do. Good, so we're working with x squared. That is x times x, and then I'll be doing x times 3. And then negative 4 times x, not just a 4, it's a negative 4, and then negative 4 times 3. So x times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x, and negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Lovely, nothing new here. Again, two terms in the middle are like terms. So I'm working with x squared minus a single x minus 12. Love it, nice work. Try out question D on your own, and then we will head into question E. Good, this is what question D looks like. Question E. All right, so now all of a sudden the question looks a little bit different, but don't forget, we know what this means, right? This is just something being multiplied by itself. What's being multiplied by itself? Everything that's written immediately in front of the 2, which in this case is a bracket, so it's everything inside the brackets. So really we're working with x minus 4 times x minus 4. Oh, there's nothing new there. You folks know how to handle that. Now that this looks like a question you know how to handle, I want you to pause the video, see how you did. Don't forget, this final term here is a positive term because it came from multiplying a negative term times a negative term. The two middle terms are negative terms. So I'm working with, after I collect my like terms, I'm working with x squared minus 8x plus 16. Good job, us. Try out question F on your own here once more. Don't forget about this minus 7 at the end. Good, where this minus 7 is going to be carried along for the ride. Don't forget about it. And then we're collecting our like terms. This time we have two different types of like terms. I'm working with 9x squared plus 12x plus 4 minus 7, so that's like minus 3. There we go. Okay, so if you followed along with us, hopefully you're feeling a little bit more comfortable how to expand your binomials. Nice work.